Hi everyone, and welcome to the Timeless History channel with me, Deric, aka Sal, the Omega Enthusiast. When it comes to vintage Omega Constellation watches, the most popular models are usually the famous 5 from the 1950s, which are the following 5 pieces right here. And you can learn more about these watches from the link above. Or in the 1960s, you have the Dogleg Paipan, C-constellation, and the round case constellation. To learn more about these popular constellation model, I will leave a link to each in the description box below for you to watch later. But the focus of this video is I want to share 3 exceptional late 1960s vintage constellation references that are unpopular and that you should consider looking into because they are great watches. Constellation number 1 is under reference 168.025, created in 1967, and is known to be the smallest vintage constellation with the Paipan or 12-sided dial. It is also the only constellation reference of that era with a unishell or monoshell case, meaning a front-loading watch. The case back is part of the case, and the movement can only come out from the front after removing the crystal. I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to learn more about this reference and the process for removing the movement. The case dimension of this watch measures 34 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 38.5 millimeters from lug to lug. The thickness of the case is 10.4 millimeters, including the original signed acrylic crystal. It does take a unique crystal with a special cut around for the bezel to sit in securely, and it requires a step metal tension ring to take away the pressure from pushing down the dial, stopping the date from changing correctly. Omega Constellation 168.025 reference will only come with an Omega Caliber 564 automatic movement with a quick set date feature. Caliber 564 is one of the most advanced mechanical movement of its time, and it's Omega's best automatic date vintage movement. As a watchmaker myself, I really enjoy working on this caliber. It's not difficult to service, and the final result is always excellent. Watch the video link on this reference that I left in the description box below, and you will see what this caliber looks like when it's out of the watch. This reference has several different dials variations that are uniquely for this reference. However, if you find a non-Paipan dial of this watch, it is actually a reference 168.015 instead. You can find this reference in solid 14K or 18K gold, in solid stainless steel, or the two-tone version like this watch, which has a gold bezel and case medallion with capped lugs over steel. This watch original crown is a small knurled dome crown. Constellation number 2 is under reference 167.021, created in 1967, and it carries one of the thinnest Omega automatic caliber, measuring only 3 mm thick. So if you're looking to own an extra slim vintage constellation watch, you may want to consider this case reference. And if you enjoy watching content like this, maybe consider subscribing to this channel and smash that thumbs up like button below. The case dimension of this watch measures 33 millimeters, excluding the crown, by 39.5 millimeters from lug to lug. The case thickness only measures 7.5 millimeters, including the original signed crystal, which is why it is known as the Ultra Slim Constellation watch. If you plan on purchasing this reference, I suggest you to shop for a nice matching 19mm wide strap first, as that is the lugged width on this reference. 19mm is an odd size, and there are not too many strap choices for this size. Unscrew the case back to open the case to reveal the movement inside. The case carries a 0.8 mm thick rubber gasket for moisture protection. The automatic movement is an Omega Caliber 712 with 24 jewels and is the slimmest vintage Omega automatic chronometer movement. And make sure the movement holder and 2 case clamps and screws are there to hold the movement in place securely. Reference 167.015 is a non-date constellation and a perfect watch for wearing a dress shirt with cuff link due to its slim size. The current dial on this watch is probably the only dial variation that comes with this watch. You can find this reference in solid 14K or 18K gold, in solid stainless steel, or the two-tone version which has a gold bezel and case medallion with cap lug over steel. The last piece is under reference 168.033, created in 1969, usually known as the Omega Constellation Calatrava. You may have seen this piece in my past video, as this is my personal watch. I typically have a mesh bracelet on this watch, but for this video I decided to put a leather strap on it instead. I like this watch size and look. It sits perfectly on my 6-inch wrist. I always tell my client if they can't afford a nice Patek Calatrava, maybe consider an Omega Constellation 168.033. The case dimension of this watch measures relatively the same as the previous piece, except that it is slightly thicker. The case diameter is 33.3 mm, excluding the crown by 39.5 mm from lug to lug. The case thickness is 9.3 mm, including its original signed acrylic crystal. As recommended, like the previous piece, I suggest you find a nice matching strap for this watch before purchasing one due to its odd size 19 mm lugged width. Unscrew open the screw-in case back, and inside you'll see a case gasket and an Omega caliber 1001 automatic movement with 20 jewels. I know many Omega watch collectors dislike the 1000 and the 1010 series caliber. However, they work more accurately with a good overhaul than most movement. I like the 1000 series more than the 1010 series because of the butterfly automatic weight design. But of course, this movement has a quick set date and hack set feature. The hack set feature means the second hand will pause when you pull the crown out to set the time. Even though all three of these constellation references carry different movement calibers and have different case design, they do have one thing in common, and that is they are available in solid 14K or 18K gold, solid stainless steel, or the two-tone version, which has a gold cap bezel and case medallion with cap lugs over steel. I hope after watching this video, it will give you more options from the Constellation line. We've come to the end of this video. Let me know in the comment section below from the 3 references in this video which is your favorite to own. Also, let me know if any of these references are new to you. Please support my work for this channel by smashing on that thumbs up button below and consider subscribing if you enjoy content like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the following video.